Hey guys, welcome to a live session on Clips and Pages. This is Siddhant Agarwal or Sit Reviews, and I'll be talking to Archana Singh, also known as Travelcy Right on Instagram, and we'll be talking about a lot of things. One of them is sustainability, and she's here. Let us welcome. Do send in your questions through the chat. Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, very good.
Okay, so people are still joining in, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
be taking the questions as they come in. I hope
Sure.
that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, just an audio video check. Everything is fine.
Yep, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's begin.
yeah. Hi, guys.
Yeah,
Whosoever is joining, hello, big hello. So I'm from Delhi. Where are you from?
I am
Where?
from Ghaziabad.
Ghaziabad. Oh, that's like
Ghaziabad,
neighboring place only, not too far off.
too far off, but right now that's quite far off
Oh yeah,
in the current.
completely, completely.
It's like two different worlds right now.
Yeah. Let's see,
Yeah,
waiting
so
what they're gonna say after the lockdown. Like the
exactly.
lockdown
That was what
for,
I was just
yeah, yeah.
exactly. So before we begin, let's talk about how your lockdown is going. So how's your travel? What's your travel plan during the day?
My travel plan during the day. First, when I wake up, I go to the kitchen staan where I clean up, where I actually go under the waterfall, to clean up the utensils of my kitchen. So that's what I do. Then I go in the lush jungle of the jhadu. I take the jhadu and then I clean my house. And then once the cleaning is done, then I go on my gourmet excursion where I try different cuisines from around the world and depending. Hi Ravi, hi Ajay, how are you guys doing? So yeah, so hi Deepa. So throughout the day, I'm just going to these different places, experiencing different things. Yeah. So yeah, and in between working also. It's quite funny that I wasn't working as much as I was working earlier, but productivity is big zero. So yeah, but still, let's see. Maybe, I'm like right now doing more like an investment in the future. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Paras.
let's
Hi,
begin.
guys.
Let's talk about your journey from being a marketing and a communication person to becoming
Mhm.
a travel writer and travel influencer, if I can say. So how's been your journey like?
Okay, first thing I would like to correct is, I hate the word travel influencer. So anyone who calls me travel influencer, I say no, I'm not a travel influencer. Every person is an influencer. You are an influencer. My neighbor wali auntie is an influencer. A travel agent is an influencer. Everyone is an influencer. That cannot be a career choice. You are defined by the work you do. By influence is like a subproduct. For example, Virat Kohli is India's biggest influencer, you can say, but he doesn't call himself as a influencer or public figure. That are the tags given by the public. He is a cricketer, right? So in my case, I say that I am a storyteller, like I'm more about unfolding the untold stories from offbeat places. So that is one thing, so whatever it might be, I will, whichever platform I might take, whether it's a video or photography or writing or interviews, anything, it will always be storytelling. Like I love first investigating stories and then telling. That is what I do. Anyways, coming back, the journey. So, my friends who know me really well, they know that I am a die-hard fan of Novak Djokovic. He's the tennis star, number one tennis star. And I've been following him since the time he wasn't even so big, like when he was still struggling. And the reason why I follow that guy is because of the way he's fought back, you know. In fact, my signature, my email signature is a quote by him, which basically says that you must dream, but dreaming is just one part. You should have a belief. He says, like, more than hard work, he believes a lot in believing in yourself. So for me, it has always been that, you know, okay, everyone dreams, but I also believe that I can very well achieve my dreams. And I've always, you know, taken these weird kind of decisions in my life where I would just quit whatever I would be doing, you know, like, and I usually quit it when I'm at the top and then get into something new. So that journey was, I wouldn't say it scared me, because I was prepared. I knew that it's gonna be something new because I started from zero. But I was very sure that failing is not an option for me. And even if I fail, you know, even if and how do you measure failure? You measure failure by monetary gains. Okay, that's okay. Thankfully, I was in a stage of my life and career where I didn't have much liability, so I was okay. Then how do you say you become a failure? I would have gained experience a lot. So for me, it's always, you know, challenging yourself to try out new things, you know, getting out of your comfort zone. That's how you remain afresh. That's how you remain kid. You know why kids have so much energy? Because they're always trying something new. So yeah, that's what I do. That's a very long answer for a very short question. I love
No, no, that's
talking.
good. No, that's actually fine, because when you're telling stories, you need to talk to people. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the stories out. So that's, I think, a factor that always works in your favor. And having learning about a person helps a lot to understand why they do what they do.
Absolutely.
Right. So this quote by Novak Djokovic was like something that even I follow.
Oh,
So
awesome.
moving on, I have one question before I move ahead, which
Yeah.
is the one place that you have never been to but you would like to go.
Oh, there are so many places I've never been to. But one place which is super duper high on my list is Antarctica. Like, I will not die without going to Antarctica. Yeah, I will fight with God. Even if, you know, God comes, you know, to pick me up, I'll say, no, I have to see Antarctica. I have to get clicked with the penguins. I have to see Antarctica. So yeah, Antarctica is really, really high on my list. I have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so related to the first question, what led you to switch careers and take up traveling full time? Because
Okay.
as you
See,
mentioned, you
I think it very well comes from the way I have been brought up. You know, for example, I have been brought up in a way where my father has always told me that you shouldn't be scared of the unknown. You know, you should always be ready to try out something new. And this is reflected in the way my career has progressed. Like, for example, my father wanted me to crack medical, and I did crack, but I didn't want to become a doctor. So I said, no, I don't want to do it. And then, you know, then I said, okay, I want to try industrial microbiology. That time nobody was doing it, but I said, I want to do it. So I did it. And then second year I said, no, this is too much of padhai, I can't do that. You know, and then you'll have to do like your masters, PhD, and like the entire life you're just studying. So I said, वो नहीं होगा मुझसे, ये छोड़ो, नहीं हो सकता मुझसे बिल्कुल भी. So then MBA, and then MBA also, I kept changing, like started with PR. It wasn't that I am not sure about my choices. I'm very sure about my choices, but I'm always ready for the next, what do you say, next challenge. So I think that has always been there. So when I got into traveling, when I quit my job and when I quit my career, it was a big decision. And my friends, my family, even though they were very, very supportive, the ultimate decision was mine. So being free of any kind of liability definitely helped. I had nothing to lose, because frankly, I don't care about money. I don't care about, like, I didn't have a, you know, husband to answer to or kids to take care of, or old parents to take care of. So I could take that decision and I thought कि एक ही तो जिंदगी होती है ना, and cricket में होता है ना जैसे कि second inning होती है. So I thought मेरी जिंदगी की ये second inning है, मुझे अपनी second inning अच्छी खेलनी है. First inning तो चलो जो मम्मी पापा ने बोला and you know society ने बोला कि तुम ये करो, पैसे कमाओ, ऐसे करो, वैसे करो, वो सब करो. But ultimately what is the legacy you want to leave behind? What is it that you should be known for, or what is it that gives you true happiness? You know, even आप कुछ भी नहीं कमा रहे हो, कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो, like, but you're creating something new. So that's what actually prompted me to change my profession. Yeah.
So how's been your experience, traveling across countries, experiencing different cultures? How's that experience been?
I'll tell you what, I had not learned as much in my entire life as I learned when I started traveling full time, you know, since 2017. My life philosophy, my life fundas changed completely because pehle kya hota tha, you would hoard. Indians have this mentality, na, you hoard things. So you hoard money, you hoard experiences, you hoard, and sorry, not experiences, like you hoard a lot of things and bragging ke mere paas to ye hai, especially in North India, you know, like mere paas ghar hai, gaadi hai, maa hai, sab kuch hai, right? But हम बाहर ट्रैवल करने के बाद एक चीज मैंने देखा कि अल्टीमेटली इट इज द एक्सपीरियंसेस, इट इज द रिलेशनशिप, इट इज द इंटैंजिबल्स व्हिच एक्चुअली matter a lot. So now you know, like I have friends all around the world, and if I give them a call, they will arrange, you know, like I would have no problem of whatsoever. So firstly, I've gained a lot. I have changed as a person in a sense, like I've become more adaptive, I have become more open minded, I am more empathetic towards people. I am now trying to lead a life of minimalism and more sustainability. So I have evolved as a person. So that's what. And yeah, like nomadic, we just mentioned, we realize how small we are in this entire world. He's absolutely right. Absolutely. Like, you know, just recently only, I'll just quote this example. So I was interviewing this person from Sweden. So since the age of 16, he's been working, and he has started a company of world's first 100% organic denim wear. And when I'd gone to Sweden that time, I'd met him and all that, and I was so interested and so moved by his story. So I was interviewing. So he told me a word, which is the law of Jantar. They call it in Sweden, which is like, which means that everybody is equal. You are not better than anyone. You don't know much. Like, it is contrary to how we have been brought up. हम लोगों के यहाँ तो bragging is a must. आपने brag नहीं किया तो बेटा तुमने कुछ जिंदगी में achieve ही नहीं किया. So like, I was just talking to him and it hit me like a brick, you know, एकदम से लगता है जैसे. And I told my close friends that you have to ensure that I am never gonna brag. Although अभी मैंने वो ही किया है, brag. I should have not done, but I think this is like answering the question. But I want to go away from there, where whatever I achieve, my achievements should be spoken by the work I do and not by what I say. Ultimately, it's the person and the work that you do. So yeah, there are a lot of these things which you learn, you know. So yeah.
So, traveling around the world, what's the one thing that always stays with you, something that you always carry?
Definitely my camera, my mobile phone. Then I usually carry like 2 mobile phones and 3 cameras. Definitely are always there. I'm paranoid. Like, I'm paranoid. What if my cards are lost or anything? And I have actually lost like my entire Europe and US pictures and videos. They just went. They just, because hard disk. So now I take care that I have everything in 2 or 3 pairs. So that definitely happens. Clothes, food, they take lesser space. Like, I would still carry a little bit of chocolate or nuts, because if you're traveling long term, you know, I especially travel long term, so then you need to take care. But anything which you can buy there, you don't have to worry. So yeah, these are the things which I would usually. And yeah, offline maps, I have started keeping offline maps, because what if your internet is not working? So these things, and my passport copy in my email. Yeah. Credit card, yeah,
There-
credit card always, credit card and debit card, yeah.
there's a question by Nomadic Avi.
Mm-hmm.
How, and it's very little topic. How do we do sustainable travel, or how do we make an impact with our travel? Should we not take flights and avoid? What are the
Okay.
sustainable ways of traveling?
Yeah, this is a catch-22 situation, and I myself has fraught with this question so many times that should I take flights, should I not take flights? So what I started doing now is, instead of taking many flights, I take one big trip. Like for example, if I am going, say in Europe, so usually I travel for long term. So it's minimum is like 3 weeks. I don't go less than that. So minimum 3 weeks is there, 2 to 3 weeks, and mostly like if I have time and if I don't have any assignments, and I plan in advance, at least the time I plan. So then, except for the big flight which goes from India, that flight is the big flight, and then also I try and have a one single straight flight, because when you have a layover flight you burn more fuel. And then I also research on the planes I am taking, because the new airplanes, they are more eco-friendly, and then I try to buy some carbon, to offset that carbon points and all. And locally I use public transport. Like I don't use Uber or anything. I walk a lot. I buy locally. I don't carry plastic. Like one thing which you can do to reduce carbon footprint or to travel sustainably is carry your own water. Travel as light as you can, because the weight which you add, whether in plane, whether in train, it all adds up. So travel as light as you can. Eat local food from there. Like any baggage that you can leave behind, that really helps. Use the local communities. Like I always try and okay, I always have a travel guide, because of two reasons. One thing is you are providing employment to the local people out there, you're giving them livelihood. And then also I research like what kind of travels are giving, like it should be something that is not very common. Like I would stay away from the commercial things. So then the locals take you to the places which other would not. So two benefits of them. One is like you're giving them employment. Secondly, you get exclusive content and stuff like that, which you get. So that is there. Then try to minimize as much plastic as you can. Like for example, even in the hotels or anywhere I stay, Airbnb, I always tell them that I don't need any of those small pouches. Whether it is, I carry my own shampoo and stuff like that. Like toiletries, usually people have stopped carrying their toiletries, but I carry my own toiletries. I don't take it from the hotel. I tell them not to keep any plastic water bottle in my room. I always tell them, give me the filter water, and no small coffee or all those pouches. Ask them to give me fruits instead of other. Eat the local food. And or before picking up an accommodation, I always look at it like, what are they doing? For example, when I recently went to Maldives, so I was staying with Adaran, and the reason why I picked up Adaran than others was, they are doing a lot when it comes to sustainability and environment. Like they are restoring corals. They have set up solar panels in to generate their own power. They have made their resort plastic free, and they are supporting the local community. So there are like a little bit of research when you do at night always helps. So that's how you can live sustainably. Drive as less as you can, and flights, take minimum flights. And if you really have to take flights, search like how much carbon footprint they are having. I do that. I've actually made a list of the planes, and when I go back and I actually see, is it, and trying to take the direct flights. Yeah. Ha, okay. Do you want to ask the question, or do you want to answer something? Yeah.
We can take his question. The first question is really interesting. How do
Yeah.
you break the ice with locals?
Is
Interesting.
it easy just to go and talk with them? In France, I could bond with some solo traveling, but it's always okay. It's actually pretty simple. I'll tell you how I do it. Even before I've gone to the country, I always have local friends. And because now I end up traveling to the same countries again and again, so I already know the locals over there. So the local always helps. Like I'll give you one example. I was in Dunkirk last year, and Dunkirk was my dream since the time I'd seen the movie. I really, really wanted to go there. And last to last time I couldn't go there, but last time I made sure that I go to Dunkirk. So me and my local friend, we were on the beach where the movie is shot, the Dunkirk. And there are these batteries and bunkers which were from the World War II time. And there was this specific battery which has been converted by local artists. So there was this local artist. So what he does is he always puts glasses on it. Like he's put mirrors, and that is called the mirror artwork. Like they do it. And his reason to do it was that it what the situation what was there earlier, because the whole Dunkirk and Europe had become like a place for immigrants. Similarly, we are in the same situation. So don't say no to immigrants, because once you were an immigrant too. So there was this interesting person. I was there, and I didn't know French, but my friend was there, and he said, this is the guy who has made this. I would have never known. Like the artwork that I'm looking, that is like spoken with so much, attention and so much love and care, and like is actually the artist who made it. He's right there. So he introduced me. He introduced me to him, and then he was translating. So you just go and talk to them. They're very, very warm. At worst, what's gonna happen? They will say no, right? Which rarely happens. Locals would rather help you than hurt you. But I have also had bad experiences. I'll tell you what, like in China, they are like that. But maybe that's because they don't understand the language. But I have had people in China where I had been lost, and I go to them and I say, could you please help me? And I'm even showing them in Chinese written. And they would be like, they make a face as if you don't exist. So then you do nothing, then you just walk off. But usually people are nice. They always tend to help you or
Right.
talk to you. Yeah.
Right. So let us talk about some traveling hacks. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are your go-to travel hacks for packing, let's say, or booking
Okay.
tickets? So, yeah.
Okay. First, I'll tell you, for when it comes to packing, I have invested in clothes which are lightweight, because lightweight and of the material that dries up easily. So because it takes less space, and I use clothes which can be used multiple times. For example, my trek pants, so they can be converted into shorts, and they can be converted into like full trousers, and they're very, very lightweight. So I always invest in, might seem like little expensive, but they last forever. So I believe in more like wear, tear, and repair. So go in for those brands, not fast fashion. I don't believe in use and throw. So I actually don't buy stuff. So buy stuff which lasts for long. So one is that. Then second thing is buy solid colors, because solid colors you can team them up and they don't look so dirty, and pictures come really nice. Let me tell you, if you take solid colors, they always come nice. So one is that. Roll them, invest in cubes, like packing cubes. I cannot tell you how good they are. First of all, it helps you to segregate stuff, so exactly where your stuff is. So, and then roll as much as you can. Like for example, if you're packing your shoes, then put all your socks there. If and when you roll your t-shirts, it takes lesser space in there. Invest in a good luggage, which is lightweight but of good material. Use that. Then what I do, I always carry some extra poly packs with me. Um, I don't throw those poly packs, like a big ones, because sometimes you don't know when it can get rain on your gear. You have to put it. So I always keep it with me. Like my bag always has my medicines. I always have one travel bag which is ready. I never take anything out of it unless I'm refilling it. So my bottle is there, my fork, wooden fork, and like basic stuff is always there. So I use that. Then the other hack which I use is when I'm booking flights, I book an incognito. That really helps. Trust me, like if you go on Skyscanner and if you're there, normal, they kind of trace it. So I've seen that, and I always check, keep on checking. Don't book your flights 3 months in advance. They're very expensive. Like for international, it's fine. Go in off season. Off season is much better. You see the places with lesser number of people, you pay less, people are more forthcoming to talk to you. So that is definitely there. And one hack which I use when I'm in hotels or anything, because you need to keep your gadgets charged all the time. So I always have one extra key from my old travels. So when I'm going out of the hotel room, I put that key in the room and put whatever I'm charging with that. So the electricity doesn't go off the room. So that I use,
Oh,
and then there are like a lot of other, for carry either chocolates or nuts. It gives you instant energy. And buy fruits. I buy fruits because, especially with a photographer, when you're a photographer, like you can spend hours and hours. And what if you don't find food? And have offline maps. I use maps.me. It's wonderful. Like I cannot tell you how good an app it is. So yeah.
right. So those are some really interesting tips, right?
Thank you.
Do you think that carrying an extension cord is a good idea? Because in current times you have a lot of gadgets.
I personally don't carry, but I have universal chargers which I carry 2, 3, and usually when I come back, then I charge and it's fine. Like I've never faced any problem per se. And if you are going, see, you're gonna either be staying in a hotel or you're gonna be staying in an Airbnb. You usually get it, even if you need it. So carrying that much weight, it's not required. Okay, this is a good question. I would like to answer. Any tips for an introvert solo traveler? Abhi, you won't believe it. I am, as a person, an introvert. It takes a lot for me to talk, and you might feel that I'm such an extrovert. But trust me, my very good friends, they know that what kind of an introvert person I am. But I'll tell you, वो कहते हैं ना कि एक कहावत है हिंदी में, जब काम पड़ता है तो गधे को भी अपना बाप बनाना पड़ता है, right? So when you are in a foreign land, you don't want to be stuck anywhere, right? So you have to talk. जाके बात करो यार, एक अच्छी सी स्टाइल दो, पूछो उनके बारे में. Don't try to be too cheesy or something which can take an advantage. Just be normal you, and you can easily talk about the topic which is not very, I would say, political or controversial. Compliments always work. So if you'll start with compliments, they will always work. But don't give cheesy compliments, and don't give too many compliments to girls if you're a boy. Or like girls giving compliments to boys, chalta hai. लड़के खुश हो जाएंगे.
Right. Let's talk about a topic, that we were discussing the other day, and that's very close to your heart as well. So let's talk about sustainability. And after the current scenario, how do you think sustainability will impact, everyone, and especially when you are traveling? So how would that change?
See, sustainability will become very big, because I'll tell you what, COVID-19 might not be a climate change induced pandemic, but if you look at it, it is closely related to it. We have gone so rampant on the industrialization that what we have done is we have destroyed the earth. We have cut down the forests, we have taken the habitats of these animals, and these viruses, they actually stay in these animals, so they have no other way. They have to come out. And when they come out, they will attack us. So it's very simple that we live in. It's like a symbiotic relationship. We have learned it. So you cannot destroy the planet on which you earth, and people are becoming aware. Especially now, what will happen is, over tourism was creating so much problem, whether it was cruise travel, whether it was these group travel, and we were imbalancing the planet. Now if you look at it, the canals are clean, the sky is clean, animals are happy, everyone, and people are looking at it. So once it opens, one good thing that's gonna happen is people will try and keep the surroundings clean for the coronavirus, or so that they don't get disease, and they are going to go to places which are away from the city center and not in the city center, because of social distancing and because of not catching the virus. So what will happen is, all these smaller boutique places who actually take care of the planet, they will benefit a lot, and planet will benefit a lot. Like, so more adventure sport activities would become bigger, more nature activities would become bigger. People will not fly less. In the short run, they will fly less. Maybe after like 2023, UNWTO says that after 20, like it will take at least 3 years for aviation to come back where it was in 2019. So by that time, people will take road trips. Train travel, I think, will be a problem. So it's gonna be more family, more like smaller ones going, and people
Right.
carrying their own water or carrying their food, or not going and taking these food which can be contaminated. So we'll see a lot of change. I think then it would be really good for the planet. I think that is one thing that we have learned. That's what personally I feel, and
True.
that's what, like, whatever webinars and whatever conferences I am attending, that's what everyone is saying.
True. That's, I think, that even something I believe in.
Yeah.
We talked about, different steps that, we take while traveling,
Mhm.
taking direct flight or avoiding plastics. What are the other steps, that we can take when we are going somewhere? Let's say a lot of debate happens when people visit mountainous places and hill stations,
Mhm.
and, talk about their plastic footprint and the garbage footprint. So how do
Mhm.
we reduce that?
Okay. See, first thing is, you have to, like, nomadic AV also says, like, travel locally. That's very important. When you're going and staying, instead of staying like a big MNC chain hotel, try and stay in a boutique property. Try and stay in a homestay. Eat the food which the locals are eating. Go and become a part of their activity. For example, when I was in Maldives, so I'd gone for the coral restoration, or when I'm in Ladakh, so I'd actually gone for the apple harvesting. So when you go there, they also feel that, okay, this person is coming to be a part of my culture and not something, trying to impose the other person's culture. So yeah, eating local foods, yeah, as Bun Gold says, yeah, so eating local foods, like, don't carry your theplas. And okay, I love Gujarati food and they stay really long, but eat the local food यार. वो जो उसके फ्लेवर्स होते हैं, वो जो उसकी खुशबू होती है, जो टेस्ट होता है, एक गरम खाने का जो टेस्ट होता है ना, that you can't get in a ठंडा खाना जो आप लेके आते हो इतना ज्यादा. Talk to them, try and learn some words from their language. It really helps, it really strikes a conversation. Yeah, there was another point they said, na, like, for an introvert, the best thing would be learn some local languages. And even if you can't learn, na, dude, eyes सब बात करते हैं. If you are open hearted, लोगों को दिख जाता है. There was it happened with me. It's a very funny story. I'm just going to tell you. Last to last year, I was in Slovakia, and there was this very small village called Bazuzka. उसमें शायद मुश्किल से गिन के ना 5-6 फैमिली भी नहीं होंगी. And it was incredibly beautiful. Incredibly. Like, I cannot tell you how beautiful that place was. And we were in this small village. वहाँ पे पूरी, मतलब, sheeps थे, बड़े बड़े कुत्ते थे. बहुत ही खूबसूरत जगह थी. Like, it's dream world जिसे कहते हैं ना. It was like that. And we were just about to come. हम लोग देख के सब कुछ खाना वाना खा लिया था, and we were coming. And then this guy comes in, and he was the like, उस छोटे से गांव का सरपंच type, you can say. He was like that. उस बंदे का बर्थडे था. And my friend had already told me कि देखो, अगर वो तुम्हें मिल गया तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, because he won't let you go. And I was like, okay. So we were trying to, just run away कि उसके parents.
Oh,
But that guy, उसको दिख गए हम लोग. हे भगवान, उसको इंग्लिश नहीं आती थी, मुझे वो स्लोवाक लैंग्वेज नहीं आती थी, बट यू वोंट बिलीव वी हैड द बेस्ट कॉन्वर्सेशन. लाइक, इट वाज थ्रू आईज, एंड देयर वर लाइक other people who were interpreter. And then we were like, they have this small drink which is like a local drink they have. So we were, and he wouldn't let me stand. He would say, no, you have to have it, you have to have it. I must have had like 7-8. Now don't ask me what happened to me the next day. I was like, what did I drink? But It was incredible. Like till date, I remember that guy still remembers, and my local friends, he keeps telling me. So it's wonderful, you have to connect with the locals. Yeah.
Right. I think that's important as well because you get to learn a lot as well, and you won't
Yeah,
find such things in the travel guides and the books that you get and
absolutely.
the things that you get online. So yeah, coming to that, you don't get these things online. So that's I think all your blog does about. So
Oh, yeah.
Travel Sea Ride basically talks the untold stories.
Yes.
So let's talk about your untold stories and how you've met the people and how it all began from
Mhm.
Travel Sea Ride to the untold stories. How
Okay.
did that come along?
See, I'll tell you what. Again, I think it doesn't come one fine day. It is somewhere always embedded in you. So I come from a strategy background. Like when I was in advertising, so my role used to be, there's a term which we used to use which is called consumer insight. Like it is there in your site, but you don't notice it. That's the job of a strategist, to find that common truth and see that observation और उसको कैसे advertising में communication में use करते हो. So I applied the same thing in advertising. Sorry, in travel. I said, these stories are always there, but हम लोग attractions को देखने के पीछे ना इतना ज्यादा रहते हैं कि हम जो main story होती है लोगों की, we forget that. So for me, one of the differentiator for me have been like, people will forget the places they have been, the food they would have eaten, the clothes they would have worn that time, or the number of photographs they would have taken, but they will always remember any interesting interaction they would have. They would always remember the story, the experiences. So for me, it has always been like that, and you need to, and those experiences you can't have. Otherwise, तो वो आप आर्मचेयर ट्रैवलर भी हो बैठ के मतलब पढ़ लो आप, but वो नहीं आएगा ना जब तक आप वहां जाओगे नहीं. Similarly, I always tend to really really depend a lot on locals. Like कहीं पर भी मैं जाती हूँ ना तो पहले कोई दोस्त बना लेती हूँ या फिर वहां मिल जाती हूँ तो दोस्त बना लेती हूँ. Like मैं कभी भी अपना आइटनरी मेरी फिक्स नहीं होती है. इट्स ऑलवेज फ्लूइड आइटनरी. आई ओनली बुक माई फर्स्ट 1 or 2 days ऑफ ट्रैवल और मेरी फ्लाइट बुक होती है. दैट्स ऑल. अदरवाइज बीच का इज कम्प्लीटली फ्लूइड. आप एक मोटा मोटा चेकलिस्ट थोड़ा बहुत होता है कि ये देखना है वो देखना है, बट देन आई गो बाय व्हाट लोकल सजेस्ट. आई जस्ट टेल देम कि आप मुझे अपनी फेवरेट जगह लेके जाओ. मुझे वो नहीं देखना जो गाइड बुक्स में होता है, जो ट्रैवल में होता है. जस्ट टेल take me or tell me your favorite place and which has an interesting story, and that's how you end up discovering all these places, and that's what gives me the best memories, frankly.
Yeah, that's so your journeys, you have met a lot of people, you have seen a lot of cultures. So sustainability and culture, how have you been through this journey, and what are the some incidents of sustainability, some practice of sustainability that you've seen in your travels and that has stayed with you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, see, I'll tell you more than the culture. I'm more of an adventure and a nature person. So, if you give me choice now, whether you have to go to a city or say, suppose if you have to attend a festival or you have to go and hike a mountain peak, I would pick hiking a mountain peak. Somehow, I really have this innate love for nature a lot. So I love their company more than the company of people, and that's because I'm an introvert. So I love. Sorry, I forgot the question. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I was just talking. So I asked you about key. What are the sustainable practices that you have come across in your travels that have
Okay.
stayed with you and you try to emulate them?
Okay. See, few things which I have seen a lot is like, for example, if you take it Japan. Japan is a country where saying no doesn't exist. There, people don't say no. They always help you. So even if they don't know language, even if they don't know anything, they would still make it happen to help you out. So that is what I have learned, that it is very possible to be polite, to help people. So that is some practice that I have seen, and that you should be honest. Also minimalism, especially in Scandinavia, I've seen that the bigness is not that the richer you become, or that you need to brag it to the world. The bigness is actually when you don't tell. you live the simple. The biggest people in the world, or the greatest people in the world, they were the simplest people. You take it as Gandhi, you take Steve Jobs, anyone. Like, why do you think all these people, they wear only same color t-shirt? Like, why would Steve Jobs always wear black t-shirt? Simple, because he didn't want to waste his time, picking up the shirt he wanted to pick up. So, say similarly in Scandinavia, if you look at it, it's not that these guys can't buy big cars. Of course, they have so much money, but they still like to travel by bike, or they still like to walk, because they know, like, by uh, riding a car, or by driving, they are doing more harm, and they don't need to brag to anybody. Everyone is equal. Being polite and using only that much you need, right? For example, if you go in Scandinavia or Europe, for say Europe, completely Europe, if you look at it, the best way to see how they do it, like when you go to the lunchtime, in their place they will not have 10 things. They will only have one or two things. If they are having soup, then it will be just soup, and it will be just enough, because wastage is seen as a crime. And that practice you can see in the way they live, like equality. Even the prime minister's son or a common man's son would be going there. So treating everyone equal and not wasting. Also the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's really, really big over there. And because they are not wasting stuff, that's why they don't have so much waste to worry about. Everyone is responsible. Everyone takes care of their own stuff. Like, nobody is. They have plogging. Like in Sweden, they have plogging, where they go jogging and they collect trash. So like we have MCDs, or their job is reduced a lot, because the locals are doing that. The locals are growing their own food. They are recycling everything. So yeah, intermittent fasting. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Mark
Right. So
Zuckerberg, great T-shirt. Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, so that's, I think, something that, we can do as well. It's not a big task,
No,
especially in Delhi, when you have like a good public transport there, and
absolutely.
uh, you always have an option.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I
Uh,
actually did that. When before when I used to live in India, and then I went out for work. So that time I had two cars. I don't know why I had two cars. God knows why I got two cars. Maybe I was stupid. That's why I got two cars. But then when I came, I actually sold one car and gave the other car to my parents, because I thought I don't need it. There is Metro, there is Uber, and in Uber also try and use more of the, like, pool and stuff like that. So there, like, and life has not gone bad. In fact, it has improved a lot. I have saved on the expenses. I'm contributing more to environment, and I reach on time. I don't get stuck in traffic. So yeah.
True. Yeah. So coming back to you, traveling, especially transit, can be quite long.
Yeah.
So what do you prefer doing in your transit time? Is it reading or writing, or watching movies? What's your
Mhm.
take on this, or what do you do?
I do three things. First is, I don't watch too many movies. Like, it would be one or two movies in a theater that I see, and I don't watch pirated movies also. So, and I am not there on Netflix or Amazon Prime and all that, because they're so addictive. And then your work and other things suffer. So I'm not there. So usually when I go in the flights, and when I have to take a long haul flight, first things is movies. So definitely movies. Then reading also, and then sleeping, because I have this disorder. Like, I have this innate fear that I'm going to miss my flight, and that fear doesn't let me sleep the night before. So usually I'm like awake for 2 nights before. So then I tend to sleep. So first movies, reading, and sleeping. Three things I do. That's all.
Okay, so related questions. What's the last movie you watched?
Oh, sorry,
The
what did you say?
last movie you watched? Which was the last movie that you
Oh,
watched?
last movie. Okay. Actually, I watched it again. Madari, Irfan Khan's. Irfan
Nice.
Khan
Yeah,
was
that
my
that's a good
favorite
one.
actor. Like I've always loved that guy. So his movies are amazing. And now because he also expired, so I was like watching his movies again. So Madari was such a nice movie. And then another movie, which many people, I'm sure the people watching here, they would disagree with me. Love Aajkal. I love Imtiaz Ali. I'm like hopelessly romantic, and I think there is no better director in Bollywood right now who understands romance more than Imtiaz Ali. And then travel is such a big thing. Like I can actually write books on Imtiaz Ali. I watch all his interviews, read everything about him. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that was a good one. The old one or the new one? Love Aajkal.
No, the new one, because I never watch movies by what other people say, because I always watch what I want to see, and a lot of people have trashed the movie, but frankly, there were a lot of nuances and a lot of things which he picked up, which probably people didn't notice it, or because of overacting of some people, they didn't like it, but I kind of liked the movie. I wouldn't say that it was a bad movie. You can't compare every movie with a rock star, or you can't compare every movie with a Jabmi bed. But I think director had a vision, and the way he showed love. I think nobody would have done that. And of course, travel is always there. He's gone to Himachal. My hero goes. So and yeah, most important thing. I remember. Okay, this is like little off the topic, but I'll tell you. So there is a scene where Kartik Aaryan, he comes to Bombay to meet his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, like the old one. And the place where he visits, that was the place where I last went when I went to Bombay with a friend of mine. And I was like, wow! So I actually took a screenshot and sent it to my friend. Look, we went here. So, you love it when you see the places that you have visited and they come on the big screen
Yes.
in the movies. Yeah. Yeah.
Truly, that's something amazing, because you can actually, and that sometimes irritates your friends also, because you are like, they have missed this part, and this was
Yeah,
amazing,
that's
and that was
true.
amazing, and that
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned reading. So
Yeah.
what did you last read?
That's funny because now my reading has gone down a lot. But I'll tell you, I can show that also. There is one book there are actually multiple books which I read. So there is one book which is written by a person who was actually my tour guide or travel guide in Jaisalmer. So he is actually a headmaster of a school, amazing person. He has a show on radio also, and his stories were such amazing. So he has written a book, and though it's a book of small stories, such incredible stories, I cannot tell you. Like those stories, they tell you about the culture, the social stigmas, and so many things. So one is that I had read. Then this guy, I think it was I've forgotten the name. The guy who wrote Razi's Bichhoda. Bichhoda is the book which is by the same guy.
Ha, ha,
So that
right.
that was an interesting book. Then there's one book which I am reading, which is about which is in this Afghanistan, like shadow walking in Kabul. Yeah. So it's set about in
Okay.
Kabul, like how a woman, she goes back because she had her great grandfathers from there, and she's traveling, and that is like now story how Kabul is right now. So yeah, a couple of those. Yeah.
Some interesting reads as well. So yeah. So basically, you are covering a lot of things in a very short period of time, and I think this lockdown
One
gave you a break. So are you missing traveling?
I'll
Okay,
tell
you
you,
can
but
continue.
before that, I had to add something. If there's one good piece of reading that you guys can do, like it is my go-to reading before I go to bed. If not every day, at least after 2, 3 days, I definitely read it. There's a guy called Dave Trott. Dave Trott actually was from advertising, but his stories are amazing. They are just 1 or 2 pages stories. They're easily available online. Like he's got a website also, Dave Trott's blog. Interesting. I cannot tell you. Like the stories range from as simple as like from World War, or like how did I Love New York came, and very small stories, but amazing. So he's one of my favorite. Then this Don George. If you want to get into travel writing, I highly recommend Don George writing. His writing is amazing. Yeah. Then Pico Iyer, all these people, they're really good. Sorry, I talk a lot.
Right. So yeah, so I was no, that's fine, that's fine, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I was missing traveling, for the past 60 days and for an unforeseeable future. We are stuck, so
Okay, I cannot tell you what I feel. I feel like it's a fish without water, because a person who would spend 60 to 70% of her time traveling, and that person, she's been caged in a room, like all by herself. Even okay, I am introvert, but no, I like to see people, man. At least once in a while I want to talk. How much can you do it virtually? You have to meet people, you have to hug
right,
them, and all that. You feel you want to, and I'm a very touchy kind of a person. Like, I like to hug my friends, I like holding hands and all that. So I do miss all that a lot. uh, okay, for me, travel will not wait a lot. Thankfully, even now I'm getting, like, once the lockdown is open, then I will definitely be traveling. Although it will be majorly in India first, and then maybe in Southeast Asia somewhere. But I cannot live without traveling. It's just impossible.
right. We have a question from Abhi. What
Yeah.
are the little travel problems traveler face? Little things that one have to take care on their end.
See, a couple of things that happen is, like, till the time you don't make a list, you are tend to forget something. If you're somebody like me, so making list always helps. I always have one ready list of my, travel checklist in my phone, which I always check before going, and even then I forget something. So that is one thing. Then other thing which can happen is when travelers, like, for example, your charger not working, or your something that just breaks down at that time. So carrying a universal charger always helps. Communication sometimes become an issue. So always have Google Translate. Then food, if you don't travel much, or if you have issues like some allergies, then food could be an issue. I am a vegetarian, but I'm very open to things. I'm not fussy about food at all, so I can survive on anything. So usually for me, the go-to places are these department store, or these grocery stores. I love going there for two reasons. One is the food is cheaper. Second thing is you get to feel the pulse of the place. You get to see what kind of products people are consuming, how they're shopping, what they're buying. You get to observe their buying behavior. So yeah, that is the and yeah, one thing which I always do. Like, I'm such a seasoned traveler, but still, I cannot make out like what weather it's going to be. Like, it has happened to me. I was in Arizona and I was going to Santa Fe, and Santa Fe is like south of America. So I was going there, and मैं बड़े मजे से, मैं सोचा मैं साउथ जा रही हूँ ना, तो गर्म ही होगा, जैसे नॉर्थ में जाते हैं ना, इंडिया से नीचे जाएंगे, गर्म ही होगा. Dude, Arizona में it was like in 40s temperature. And I'm in my flight, and the pilot says, and the temperature in Santa Fe is -2. It is snowing. I said, ये पागल हो गया है क्या? कैसे बर्फ कैसे गिर सकती है? शायद इसको कुछ गलत फहमी हुई है. And I'm like in my shorts and sleeveless, and I get down. Shit, it is snowing. So yeah, make sure that you check the temperature. Check the wind chill, because it might not be too cold like by the temperature, but sometimes the wind chill makes it so cold. Always carry a rain gear. So these are some of the problems that can happen. Carry as many memory cards as you can if you're into clicking pictures. They could go wrong any point of time. Always have a SIM card. Try and buy it as much as you can. Book 1 or 2 days of your travel beforehand. Research about the public transport. Read about what's happening. Like, sometimes like the shows can get cancelled or anything. So read about it. Yeah.
So thank you, Archana, for
Okay.
being here and talking to us.
Mhm.
And it was a pleasure
Same.
interacting with you, learning about travel hacks and different your experiences. And I checked out your blog, and it's really amazing, Travel Sea Right? And I would definitely recommend people to go and check it out. And good luck for your new initiative on sustainability. We'll be waiting for
Thanks a
it.
lot.
And
Yes, me too.
best of luck. Best of luck for your
Thank you.
onward journeys, and hope to have some really, really interesting untold stories coming up.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care. Bye. See you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining in. I hope it was a good session.